So this is the Landa Lake wall area, we call it. This area has been planted since 2015. After construction of this wall right here, there's about a 10-foot wide bare spot parallel to the wall all along down that way. So we use that to plant. We planted a mixture of Ludwigia, Sagittaria, and then we did a little bit of Vallisneria and these little cross hatches right here. And I planted those to kind of make up a buffer so that the water wouldn't just flow straight on through here down this channel, because then we would never get anything to grow. So we planted the Vallisneria to kind of make a buffer. You can see it works pretty well. So that Vallisneria buffers the velocity for the Sagittaria and the Lud right here. And again, this is another site where the Vallisneria is creeping in. Not as bad. The Sagittaria tends to keep it at bay. But the problem with that is that the Lud is getting battled by the Sagittaria and the Vallisneria. So the Sagittaria and the Vallisneria both kind of want to take over these Lud patches. Although the Lud right now is doing absolutely amazing. This is about as thick as it has been. You see all of that is Vallisneria. This is a good example right here of what I call ballooning or umbrella-ing, and this is when the Ludwigia grows so tall at the top, so it gets a lot of top growth, that it begins to pull itself out. So actually all of that Lud is basically not rooted. It's only rooted towards the upper end there. And eventually over time this will just yank itself out and float away. And so that obviously leads to decreasing sizes of your Lud patches, and it becomes real spotty throughout the summer as more and more Lud pulls out. So we combat that by putting in coconut matting over the top of the Lud and forcing it down towards the sediment surface, and then it can root itself and hold on a little better. But the Lud itself goes through a process of self-senescing, just like a live oak tree. Even though it's evergreen, it will lose its leaves throughout the year and be replaced with new leaves. Ludwigia does that on its own. Ludwigia and Cobamba. The Vallisneria and the Sagittaria will do it to a certain point, but not as bad as the Ludwigia and the Cobamba. Walk up here. So this patch was all Ludwigia about a year and a half ago. All on the wall. It's all been replaced with Sagittaria. Sagittaria has come in. You can see the little pieces of Ludwigia that remain. But the Sagittaria has as the Ludwigia has thinned itself out, the Sagittaria has come back in and replaced it. And that keeps the Ludwigia from coming back, obviously. Just kind of chokes it out. Here's a little Ludwigia patch. More Ludwigia. You can see the Val, Sagittaria, Ludwigia matrix. And again, you can see the patchiness of the Lud. Sometimes it will move from a really dense patch, consistently dense patch, to something that's, you know, kind of has some open space within the patch, like this. And then other plants move in, take advantage of that process and move in, and then you have competition going on. So we're moving up Spring Run 3. There's Spring Run 3. And this is a Ludwigia patch right here that we planted beginning of 2017. It did really well. It was consistently dense, and then towards the end of last year it thinned itself out, and again now it's just sporadic patches. I don't know if you can see. To plant this spot we actually had to remove Sagittaria and replace it with Ludwigia, and now that the Ludwigia has thinned out a lot, the Sagittaria is moving back in. So again, it's just this constant battle of planting what you want and then having it thin out for some reason, and then other plant species want to compete for the same space and they move in. But anyway, we found lots of fountain darters through here. This is a really good fountain darter hotspot, I would say. So you're probably going to focus more energy at the intersection of Spring Run 3 and Landa Lake. Because Spring Run 3 is a pretty consistent spring run. Even when the headwaters went dry, there was still water moving through this lower section in 2014. Still a little bit of spring flow, even though most of the spring flow had quit pretty much everywhere else.